Hi, everyone. Sarah Pacaro. We have not met yet. It is a pleasure to connect. I work with people who are overcoming emotionally neglectful, abusive, and traumatic past. And over the years of working both one-to-one with clients and both with clients in my program, Transforming Past Pain to Present Power, there have been a pattern, a series, a number of similar behaviors. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different stories and experiences that we went through, but they led us to the same place. They led us to feeling that maybe we have CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or what I call childhood PTSD. So that C stands for many things. It can stand for childhood, it can stand for complex, it can stand for chaotic, it can stand for confusing because you don't know if you have PTSD or not, or CPTSD, but you know that you feel a number of things and you know that you're stuck in these internal patterns. You've got these particular habits and behaviors that are not serving you, that are not leading you to fulfilling, abundant, and happy life. You're at a place where everything feels hard, everything feels difficult, everything feels overwhelming. You're in a place now where you feel completely trapped, isolated, stuck, and you want and need to break out of that so that you can have a happy, healthy, thriving life, and including the relationships that you have in your life, because we are all hardwired for connection. We want and need and thrive off healthy, loving, supportive connection, but we've been experienced past like that. That is the last thing that we feel, but that's the thing that we want and need to feel the most. So, like I said, working with people through these different archetypes over the years, I've created a system and I've created a program that guides you personally through healing through all of these. But today we're going to highlight one of them. We're going to highlight the gaslighter archetype and what you need to do to break free from the coping mechanisms that you've internally, unconsciously been programmed and developed to get stuck in. And it's not a fun place to be stuck in, especially, I mean, any of these archetypes that we're going to go over, they're going to be different videos just for the sake of keeping this at a good length. But these are things that you've unconsciously and inevitably created and are now stuck in. And you're ready. You're ready to release the patterns, the energies, the emotions that are now stuck, trapped, and locked within you that keep you in all of these archetypes, or one or more, or all of them, that we're going to go over through these series and through these videos. No matter how many years of emotional abuse and neglect that you experienced, whether you've been out of it and it was just something that happened in childhood and you've been good for a number of years, or whether this is something that you didn't really think happened in childhood, but it's happened most recently in maybe one of your last relationships, regardless of the circumstance and the situation and how you develop this, you're here because you developed this gaslighter archetype. So we're going to get into that today. Then we're going to get into how to break out of and become free from these this gaslighter archetype that we're going to get into today, and any of the others that we talk about in the future videos as well. Because the pain and punishment and the neglect from these doesn't just magically go away. There's no pill that makes it go away. The pill just masks the symptoms, and you can't just journal your way through it, because when you're journaling, you're just consciously talking about what you think the problem is and the symptoms and the signs that you're suffering from and experiencing these archetypes. But journaling, meditation, pills, those don't get to the very core and root of what it is within you that has you stuck in this archetype, that has you gaslight yourself the way that the emotional manipulator and abuser gaslight you. So, like I said, over the course of my career, years and years and years of working with people to transform and heal from this, you're going to see yourself in these archetypes through these videos. So, the most common thread and experience and similarities between this gaslighter archetype we're going to get into today and all of them is that they have difficulty truly connecting and engage with friends, with family, with loved ones. They have a fear of connecting, a fear of getting too close, and they may not say that. No, I've got great friendships and relationships, but they're great on the surface. They're great surface level friendships, relationships, and maybe you've got people that you can call, but you really feel like they lack depth and they lack true, genuine connection, because you never truly feel safe in deeply connecting with others or even with yourself. You don't know how to start, you don't know where to start, or how to begin feeling safe. Yet that's what you want, because you know you lack that connection, which is part of that disconnection you feel within yourself. This leads to anxiety, it leads to panic attacks, it leads to deeply rooted and seated sadness overall, just this overall blanket of heaviness and sadness in your life. It leads to feelings and sadness, signs of depression, low self-worth, low self-esteem, lack of confidence in yourself. But we're going to get into another archetype later that really appears to be confident and is more likely confident in many other areas of their life, except when it comes to the relationship that they have with themselves and their ability to connect with and love others. So you might feel like, I'm not sure, but if you really sit with it, you're going to see and feel the truth in it. You're going to feel that you are withdrawn, you are unable or have difficulty making and maintaining lasting, deeply rooted connections and friendships, healthy relationships. You have this distrust of others, even though there are people that you can trust, you only trust them with certain things because you have this deeply rooted distrust of other people because it was people that causes pain in the first place. So you may experience hypervigilance, this persistent fear of losing it all, fear of not being able to sustain or maintain, when it's good, this shame and guilt that's deeply embedded within you, and you don't know where it comes from. You don't know why it's constantly there, despite your efforts to try and remove it and get rid of it. You may notice that you engage in self-harming behaviors, using substances, using relationships, using external things to try and fill that internal void. A self-hatred, self-blame. You're constantly blaming yourself and hating on yourself and punishing yourself when things go wrong, when things get off course. It's always all your fault. You may have now eating disorders, exercise disorders, alcohol and substance abuse, you name it, difficulty and trouble sleeping, being uncomfortable with physical contact with other people. Regardless of what it is, all of these things leave you feeling stuck and afraid and leave you feeling like you will never be able to truly move forward in your life and get to where you want to go. So you feel like you're not able to establish and maintain healthy boundaries with other people. Maybe you let people in so far, but then that's it. That's as far as they can go. And then you never truly feel connected to that person. Or you let people in your life who just use and abuse you and just continuously take advantage of you. And you don't know why you do this and you hate that you do it. And you wish you didn't. Maybe you feel like you're a shell of yourself and you're only an ounce of who you want to be or who you could be. So you're constantly feeling hopeless and feeling lost in the world. You've got this inner voice and this inner dialogue that's riddled with shame, guilt, and fear that leads to severe emotional and oftentimes physical pain as well. Perhaps your hormones are crazy and all over the place. Your digestive system is completely out of whack and screwed up. So you've got all of these things going on now, and all you truly want is to heal your heart and be able to trust your mind, to be able to breathe again, laugh again, smile again, to feel alive, to feel true joy, peace, and happiness, to really feel grounded and unbounded, to feel unchained from all of this. You want to be able to dream again and look forward to setting goals and love yourself. You want to have hope for the future instead of the dreariness and heaviness when you think about the future. You would love to wake up feeling worthy every day and excited for the day and be able to trust yourself, trust and love others as well. And you want now this will and desire to want to live life and continue on instead of just hoping that it would just end. You want to be able to reprogram those damaging and negative thought patterns that you have. And in that, find hope, find strength, and find courage to continue on. You want to stop gaslighting yourself. You want to get out of that survival mode and that deprivation mode and get into a thriving mode, but you don't know how. You want to be able to stop being envious and jealous of what other people have that you want and think you're never going to get it. That's not possible for you. And truly step into living a purposeful and meaningful life. So if that's all of you and you want to feel safe in your body and you want to have compassion for yourself, grace for yourself, or you're just here because you just want to feel normal, like that would be wonderful to be able to function again, function normally, function like everyone else does. And you want to live a happy, thriving, energetic life and just be a full and free human, then I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to get into the archetype of the emotionally traumatized, abused, and neglected. Today's focus is going to be on the gaslighter archetype. There are 5 in total. So if you're watching this one and you haven't seen the others, make sure you go check those out as well. But today's main focus is going to be on the gaslighter archetype. So From an emotionally traumatic, abusive, and neglectful past, one of the archetypes patterns of behaviors that is developed is the gaslighter archetype. I've seen this in hundreds and hundreds of people that I've worked with over the years, one-to-one, and who've gone through my program as well. So our focus is on clearing out and removing everything internally, unconsciously that has you stuck in this archetype. And that archetype is the person who gaslights themselves. We all know what gaslighting is. It's an emotional manipulator and abuser's number one tactic to abuse is to gaslight, to get you to question and distort your reality. And they do that in a variety of ways, right? They do that through the nonverbals, they do that through their verbals, they do that through lies, through half-truths, you name it. They get you to get in your own head and gaslight yourself. And when they get you to gaslight yourself, they've done their job. They can walk away, and they normally do. They'll discard you, or you will discard them. Regardless of who does the discarding, you're now stuck gaslighting yourself. And that's not a fun place to be, because in that space, you doubt and question everything, almost everything, to this point of self-detriment, where you have no idea who you are, what you care about, what you think about certain things. You go with the flow, even though it's not where you want to go, even though your body's negatively responding and you're like, that doesn't feel right. I don't know what's wrong or what's off. And that's because you're gaslighting yourself internally. So you have now what I call this ping pong mind. Yes, no, this way, that way. I don't know, maybe, what do you think? So this ping pong mind where your decisions constantly go back and forth and you never feel grounded and assured in your decisions. You go from yes to no. I don't know, maybe so. What do you think? Yes, no, I'm sure. You sure you're sure? Well, I'm not sure that I'm sure. I don't know. Let me look into it a little bit more. So your mind feels like it's in a ping pong machine. You second guess and you question everything, and you have an extremely difficult, most of the time, an impossible time making any decision for yourself. And you have to ask everyone else what they think before you think that you can make a decision that you're going to feel good about. So you're asking for this person, I don't know, what do you think? And that person, well, what do you think about this? And hey, this person did this and this, and I'm just not sure. Tell me what your thoughts are on it. And you make a decision. And even when you make a decision, you're still unsure if that's the right decision to make. But sometimes there comes a point where you've just got to pick and choose. So you get so frustrated by your own brain and your own thinking. And so people who really, really get stuck in this archetype come to me and jokingly say, Sarah, can you just give me a new brain? I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I hate this brain and the one that I've got. I hate that I am this way. It's so frustrating. It's impossible to do anything or get anything done. And you'll see how that leads to connection with the other archetypes as well, the PME specifically, the perfectionist procrastinator, because you're constantly asking what other people think. And then you get frustrated, you get overwhelmed, you get frazzled by their answers, and you question, is that right? Is that not? And sometimes it's a life-altering decisions that you don't feel that you can trust yourself to make. So you constantly go to other people and you ask, and again, you're just never sure. So the gaslighter, you often feels very, very frustrated, deeply confused, unhappy, just horribly unsatisfied with all of the answers that they get and the answers in which they seek from other people, but they find that they go with them anyway because they don't know and they don't think they're ever going to know, because they can never make up their own mind and feel confident in the decision that their mind has made. So the gaslighter always feels lost, they feel confused, they feel stuck all the time. They will over research, they'll over analyze everything, and they'll look so far into everything to try and get this deep meaning and this really wholesome understanding. And they'll do this with even the smallest things. And it drives them crazy. You drive yourself crazy. So you wonder and you ponder, what does this all mean? Why am I like this? Why am I never okay with feeling okay? Are you sure? They're constantly asking questions like, how do you know? Why? Well, and then their own confusing, chaotic fog of thoughts, they question and they chase these rabbits down these dark holes to try and find the answer. And they find that they never really find one that they're satisfied with, that really, really feels good. Even when they do, later they'll go back and, I don't know. And they'll replay and they'll just stew and ruminate on it. So the gaslighter archetype is the archetype and the patterns of behavior that doubt and question everything. They don't trust resources, they don't trust others, and they don't trust themselves. They always feel like something is missing. They feel like they need to find that missing piece of information, yet they never can seem to find it, even when they found it. And they're always feeling just blah and blah, and they're feeling incapable, they're feeling incompetent. They're always wondering, what is wrong with me? And they truly, truly hate that feeling. The gaslighter is always frustrated with themselves, and they always ask themselves and wonder, why am I like this? I hate that I'm like this. So they feel abandoned. They feel alone. They feel just so abandoned from their own mind, and they feel unsupported. They feel like they don't really know what to do with themselves, so they often keep very, very, very busy. I just did another video on that is a trauma response, always needing to be busy and having things to do, even if it's doing nothing, even if it's just numbing out, watching TV, scrolling on social media, looking at stuff on Amazon, you name it. So in this way, like I said before, they are like the me archetype. There's another video that I will do for that. And they often give this, I don't care attitude, or sorry, answer, and have this I don't care, whatever kind of attitude when they're asked what they want. But what this really means is I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself to make a decision. And I don't want you to be mad at me if it's not what you want to do. There's the people pleaser codependent. So I'll just say whatever. I don't care. So that I can just easily go along with what other people want to do, even if I don't want to do it. That's easier. And they'll tell themselves in hopes that they believe that that's true, even though they feel like it's not. The gaslighters are very indecisive, and they're constantly flip-flopping. They're changing their mind, even though they don't often speak up about it. They'll internally have this conflict of changing their mind, but they won't generally verbalize it and say it because they're afraid of what other people are going to say, or just being so irritated with you. My God, you can never make up your mind. So if they decide that they want to do something, or they say, this is it, later they'll change their mind, or they'll question if they really want to, or if they've made the right decision or not. So their mind feels like on a teeter totter, and that just, it just drives them insane. They drive themselves insane, and they can't seem to change it. They can't seem to stop it. So like I said, gaslighters will use phrases often like, are you sure, really, I don't know, or I don't care, whatever, a lot. And they're easy people to get along with because they're go along to get along kind of people. And even though other people might not tell them or say it to them, they're very annoying to be around. If you are the gaslighter archetype, you annoy yourself to be around because you're so indecisive, and other people find that they're so indecisive. So oftentimes they'll end up shutting down and not saying anything and having this dialogue in their own mind because they don't want others to not like them or to be frustrated by their way of being. So other people, if they are verbal and expressive about it, may get frustrated with them easily. And the gaslighter just doesn't understand why that other person doesn't get them. And so they have a really hard time believing and trusting people, and that people actually do like them. Even if people say, no, I don't see that that's a problem. What's going on? I like you, right? And gaslighters are like, no, how could you like me? Because I'm just never sure. So internally, because they're constantly questioning and doubting, they feel empty inside. They feel like they're not there. They feel like they're there, but they're not really there. They're kind of over here, they're kind of over there. They've got one foot in and the other foot out, and the other foot somewhere else. And they have this very slow, proceed with caution kind of attitude. So they're often very resistant, very hesitant, very indecisive. They're slow to make decisions or feel capable and able to make decisions. They need enough other people or external validation, outside people, to tell them it's okay, but they never really feel like it is, but they go along with it anyway. And so they're constantly wondering if they've made the right decision, or what they're doing is good or bad, or what other people think about it. So I say that the gaslighter is the Debbie Downer or the Danny Doubter. They're always having conversations in their own mind that constantly go back and forth like a pendulum. They're always playing the yeah, but, or the what if game. And it's not in a positive way. It's the what if game in a negative way. They never feel safe, confident, secure, or self-assured. They never really and fully trust because of all the trauma from their past. They just can't seem to. So they constantly feel on edge, uneasy, even if they don't look like it on the outside. Even if you're looking at them, they may appear to be calm, cool, collected, rational, Just super chill, but on the inside, they are a chaotic mess. My free masterclass goes into all of this, so you're going to see a very good image, descriptive image of this. Their mind inside, it feels foggy, it feels confused, it feels full of doubt, it feels full of uncertainty, mistrust, and anger. But they oftentimes do a really good job of keeping most of that in. And that's another archetype called the stuffer bottler that keeps all of that emotion in. The gaslighters find it very difficult to truly and deeply engage with other people because of the constant questioning and wondering, what do other people think about me? I mean, what are they saying about me? What if they knew the real me? They probably wouldn't like me. And this is really frustrating. It's nauseating. They even oftentimes physically feel sick because of this. Maybe they feel like they're going to throw up when they need to make decisions, and they just wish that they could be left alone, but they also hate being alone, but that's their deepest fear. They don't want to be alone, so they overgive and overshare, and then they doubt and they question why they do that, and they hate that they did that, and they feel so conflicted because what they give is not reciprocated, because they're often giving to emotional manipulators and abusers, giving to people who use, abuse, and take advantage of them. So they're constantly and internally arguing with themselves over everything. So this is the archetype of what I call the gaslighter, the emotionally traumatized, used, abused, and neglected. And if you are suffering from this archetype, from the gaslighter archetype, or any of the others that I have videos about, I invite you to my free masterclass so that you can learn about our powerful Transforming Past Pain to Present Power program, where we utilize the power of your unconscious mind, get to the very core and the root of these internal beliefs that cause you to be stuck in this gaslighter archetype, so you can very quickly break free from that so that you can live that life that you dream of, deserve, and desire. The life that we talked about in the beginning of this video. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, as always, you can reach out to me through my website. Happy to answer them. Otherwise, I invite you to our free masterclass and training so you can learn more about how to very, very, very quickly transform, heal, and break free from this gaslighter archetype.